So welcome everybody to how to kick off a successful 24 Fit Camp. I'm Buddy Sohab and I'm excited to be here tonight to share with you step by step on how to get off to a very quick start and a successful start. So I've been in the business for 2.5 years and at a very early stage of the business, 4 months in actual fact, we opened up our nutrition club, mixed use nutrition club I should say, with our fitness downstairs, and we're running a Jennifer Michelli model. And what I love about what we do is that you can be earning money and learning at the same time. And it came to a stage when I was on a world team call when I heard a member in our UK team really share with us what I'm sharing with you. And we're in the business of duplication. So if you're taking down notes, I'll definitely start by writing it down in your notes. We're in the business of duplication. And something that I'm going to show you here is a duplication process. It's step by step to help you get started. So where did the 24 Fit Challenge come from? It came from a lady, who's a president team member now, 15K. Her name is Jennifer Michelli. And you want to write down these names, right? Jennifer Michelli. She ran a traditional boot camp, right? So something similar to Mark's story. He had 160 people where you're trading, you're selling 6-week blocks of boot camp, and then once they're finished, and you do it all again. She went from doing that to a model where she was completely charging free boot camp, which was difficult for her to understand at the very beginning. But what that enabled her to do using the Herbalife business, she went from global expansion team to president's team within a 12-month period. So she went from an average income of $5,000 to $15,000 a month to an average income of $30,000 to $160,000 a month in a 12-month period, just by following this simple process. And what I'm going to share with you is that, this simple process is what we've started to adapt in the club, and we've always been doing it, but we're just getting better at it. And I believe is that we're starting to master it. So really the first steps, if you're brand new and you want to adapt the fitness model, what you want to do is create a landing page, like a business page. So you can't use your personal Facebook page. So like Buddy Sohab's personal Facebook page under my name as a business page to, not to know that I can't use it to promote. I can use it to promote, but I can't use it to boost post and go onto different sites and what I'm going to show you next. And really the landing page is quite simple to do. You jump onto Facebook, you go on the left-hand side and it gives you an option there of creating a page. And Facebook is so intelligent that it's got a little, a couple of dots that you click the dots and it'll tell you what you need to do at every single level. So step by step, it will take you through there and it will help you establish a page, right? So I'm not going to go through that on this call. I'll do something a little bit later on that call on how to create the landing page. But really, I'm going to give you some tips on what you should put on the landing page. So all your photos need to be high quality, high resolution photos. They need to be good. They need to be attractive. Yeah, it's got to be inviting for people to look at it and go, wow, I might be interested in this. What has this got to offer? And I've got there, you always want to be adding value. So not just trying to sell, but yet add value. So, add value to your clients. So you're not just trying to sell your boot camp. I go onto the Herbalife Facebook page and I just copy their photos. I save their photo and I just launch onto my own personal page. And, they talk about the importance of beans. They talk about the importance of vitamins. They talk about the importance of, fresh berries. Whatever it may be, I just share their post. Yeah, but I save it and copy it onto my Facebook page. So methods to invite for the boot camp, right? So you want to look at spending, and I'm just explaining to you all what I do in terms of spending, right? So I spend $20 per day and I boost posts for a 14-day period. It's very, very important here when you get into the boost posting section that your target area is only a 5-mile radius. It's very important that you do that, because you got to think about how many gyms and fitness centers and boot camps there are. around. There's so many gyms and boot camps. Nobody's going to travel 20 kilometers to come to your boot camp, even if it is for free, right? But what you want to do is you want to only target a 5-mile radius, which is about 10 Ks or so, 8 Ks, right? The YouTube video is a must to watch to explain how to do this boost posting. So once again, this course is not going to explain to you on how to boost post. I've done a separate video that's going to show you step by step on how to do a boost post. Here, I'm really going to show you the effects of doing this and why you want to do this. Another thing there is, methods of invites. I've got there boost post and flyers, because I know some of us like to do flyers. So you don't want to just hand out the flyers hoping that people will call, right? You got to stop and have a conversation with people, and then, find a way to build some rapport and get their number from them, right? It's very, very important, because if you're just going to hand out flyers, it's going to be a waste of time, because 100 flyers, you're lucky to get one person. Or you do letterbox drops, you may need to do 400 or 500 letterbox drops. I think Ileana gave me a method once, a set of numbers. She said 400 letterbox drops is equivalent to one customer. You got to think about the time that you're doing this in and what's going to be most valuable for you and your team members that are getting started in your business. But if you do decide to do some flyers, these are a few things, that I strike up a conversation with people. So if there was one thing you would like to change about your body, what would it be, right? So you're starting to build conversation with them. I always say when I hand out a flyer, are you interested in a health check, right? Because it's something that we can offer, with our wellness evaluations. I always have transformation images ready in a separate album on your phone. So if you go into your photos, you can create a folder, clients results, and you just put all your clients results plus other people's results all on this folder. So what you want to do is you want to have a database of so many different results. So when you're speaking to people, that something's going to relate to them. That you often, just after spectacular, I've seen a few people post up on their walls, on a Facebook wall, saying, "Can you please, upload your photo of your recent result?" And I went through and I've literally saved all these photos, and I just put them into my album, so then I can, have a story to tell some people, right? Also, when you're out there flyering, you don't want to spend too much time, right, with one person, because it's just, time is money. You want to bring them into an information session, or you want to bring them into a wellness where then you can present to them what we've got to offer. And here I've got, look, one flyer has turned into one contact number, because if you're having this conversation, you're getting this contact, you got that one contact number, then from the contact number we can follow up, right? Otherwise, blindly giving out flyers, you may get one reply out of 100 flyers, and 100 flyers, as we all know, it's going to take a while to hand out, right? So you think about, if we are promoting to our new team members to come and join us, and you can get started on this awesome journey with us in the cracks of your day, handing out 100 flyers in the cracks of your day, I don't think that's going to be very possible. But maybe some social media and some boost posts, it can happen very, very fast. So here's some success with the boost posts. So this was the photo that I chose to use. It was one of the photos downstairs in the boot camp, and I just put 24 fit challenge. If you want to make it look pretty, I've seen better photos than this, but I just chose this at the time. And I've got down the bottom there, Word Swag. It's an app. You want to download this app. It does cost. It's not a free app. It cost, I think it was $8. It cost me. But Geraint Jones did a social media video once, and he said that that's what he uses, and it's been incredible. I use it all the time now. So it's Word Swag, and that's what gives me this 24 fit challenge on there. And it gives you different filters to use, and you really want to make the image that you do choose to be inviting. So somebody says, "You know what? I want to come and try this boot camp." Right. So this is the post that I put. So that was the photo, and this is what I wrote in the post. So don't need to worry about writing all this down. I'm going to send this to everybody. Everybody that's wants access to this is going to have access to this. But I'm going to read it out to you. Free fitness sessions are back. I've got our free community 24 Fit Bootcamp 4-week challenge is now back and free for all via popular demand. I've got their new year, new you. 20% exercise, 80% nutrition, 100% mindset. We offer it all. And then I've gone through here, said, full body transformation in our 4-week challenge. Different variations for all exercises, for all different fitness levels. You'll grow through the variations and you work out with like-minded people who are all here to drive each other's results. So you want to think about this. There isn't a set of words that you must use here. You can choose your own words. You may have better words or not. For myself, I just duplicated what somebody else was using that had an unbelievable response in the UK, right? I continue to say on in this post, initial full body reading valued at $99, and then we get weekly progress readings. You get a 1-hour workshop to understand your body's functions. I've got text bootcamp, put my mobile number there, or email to get booked in for our registration day on the 5th of February. So there's enough information there for people to go, right, good photo, enough information. I'm interested in this. This sounds good. So here's the success. So I've only started, I'm only like 4 days in or something. But you can see there on the left-hand side of the screen, it's reached almost 6,000 people. I've got 137 engagements, and I've only spent $79.65. So if you think about this graph here, it shows the photo clicks. There's 75 photo clicks, page likes 36. I've got 12 comments, right? So you think about where this is going to head. If we're just getting started, we're going to do this for 14 days, where this is going to end up at the end of our promotion. And this is really just in progress. You can see there it shows active. It's still current. The screenshot, lucky we had Adam in the club today. He got us the screenshot. So here's my numbers in 3 days. 10 people have been booked in for an induction, right? They're actually booked in. They've texted me, they said boot camp, or they've emailed me, and I've booked them in for an induction. I'm going to go through a simple step-by-step process on how I did that. I've got 2 wellnesses booked in that couldn't attend the session times. So what happened is one of them, texted boot camp, said, what time are your session times? It didn't work for them. So then I responded back, well, for the month of January, we're offering a completely free wellness evaluation. What day would you like to book in, AM or PM? She said, I'll book in for tomorrow morning at 9:30 AM, as in Wednesday morning, 9:30. I said, great, see you then, right? Out of that, we've got one new at Bootcamp that came last night. Followed through today, and they're bringing 5 people with them to the next session, right? So it's not about saying, look, you can't come to these boot camps, but I'm showing the results in 3 days and the success to date. So far, I've started 47 conversations, all from the like button. You've often heard Mark say that, you reach out to the like button, people liking your post. I was reaching out to these people. I've got everything's on a script. So I've got little scripts for everything. I just copy and paste, and I send bulk messages out to everybody. And I'm going to go through that in the next couple of slides. These numbers, the guy that I was following through, and I'm talking to you about that I copied in the UK, his numbers here, he had 70 people booked in. He did a 14-day promotion. He had 70 people booked in. Out of the 70 people booked in for the induction, 60 said they were coming, 50 showed up, 38 got on the program. So it's just simply amazing, and you can understand on why I've got to do this. It's got to have to happen, right? So there's pennies in the sale, and there's fortune to follow up. So if you had all these pennies, like this Asian fella here, he's got all these pennies. He bought a car with all these pennies. Could you go to the dealership and buy a car? Absolutely. This is the way you want to treat your business. There's got to be pennies. There's pennies in the sale, but there's that fortune in the follow-up. So you really see the money coming in or the value, but you've got to have the faith and the belief that this is going to be fortune. Like, as I was saying before, we followed up with this one lady. She came to the boot camp. Now she's come with 5 people. There's a fortune there. Those 5 people, if they all bring one, there's 10 people. Right? There's fortune in the follow-up, and you really build strong relationships with people. And how have I really mastered the follow-up is by this app called Trello, right? You want to write this down in your notes, Trello. And here's what I really want to show and spend some time with this and explain this to everybody. And you're probably not going to get this straight away, right? You're probably not going to get this straight away, but it's something that you can get onto, and it's a very simple system to use, and you can really master it by just using it yourself. What I found in my business is I found that I had a lot of leakages. I had a lot of people reach out to me, ask me some questions, and I'd write down their name on a piece of paper, and like I'm doing my 90-day plan, and then from my piece of paper, I'd go onto my 90-day plan spreadsheet, and I'd write. So I spoke to 35 people today, and I invited them down to come down for a wellness. But I don't actually have names, so I don't know who those 35 people are. The only way that I know is that they actually show up to come to the wellness. What I generally was doing before is if Marcella called me up, said, yeah, I want to come for a wellness, I'm going to come on Wednesday, I'd go to my diary, I'd plug Marcella in for Wednesday morning to pop up with her phone number, and that's it. But if I spoke to Mark, and Mark said, look, I'm not really interested at the moment, his name would still be on this piece of paper. But the only way that I was going to get back to this piece of paper was through crisis. You know, it was just literally going through manually and looking through my notes, going, I need to follow up with some clients. What I've now found, using Trello only for the last 3 days, is that the pennies in the sale, unfortunate follow-up, my follow-up is unbelievable. So it's going to really, it's easy to follow, and it's going to create a database and allows you to store client information and allows you to create a flow. And I'm going to show you physically on how this works. So with Trello, you will know exactly where each and every prospect and client is at. And with the checklist, you know exactly what to do with them next. So here I'm going to show you a live demonstration. So let me just stop this. Just bear with me for a moment. Can everybody see that? Just nod. Marcella, can you see that? Okay, great. So this is Trello. So you start off with a board, right? So you go up here on the left-hand side, and you're not going to get this straight away. So you can see here, I've created this board, prospect. You can see here, I've created a board. It's called prospect to the boost post, right? And I've got a template here. Let me click open the template and I'll show you. So this is a card. So you've got a board and a card, right? So a board is different sections. So you can see there, I've got prospect boost post, and this is a card. And in the card, I have created this checklist. So in the board, I've created a card and I've created a checklist. So you can see here for myself, and you can do whatever's going to work for you. I've got follow-up text to find out goal, and you're going to understand this in the next coming steps with the script. Text about the bootcamp. Call 1 to discuss goals and offer to come in now. Call 2 as a reminder. Call 3 as a reminder. Induction intended. Did they come to the induction? Wellness evaluation, referrals conversation, ambassador program, which you're going to hear about tomorrow night. Are they on the product, and have they attended an open house? And I just can go through and go, right, follow-up text, you can see 10% done, right? They've come in for a wellness evaluation, 20% done, so on and so forth, right? You can make this checklist whatever you want it to be. So I'm going to show you a real live event here. If we go into, okay, let's go, Diane. So you can see here, I've done I've done the follow-up text to find out her goal, right? So, and I haven't sent the text about the bootcamp. So I know, see this reminder came up today, it's past due. I set a reminder there. So I know that I need to go back to my folder today, to my message, and send her this message about the bootcamp to confirm if she's coming or not, to go through a simple process. Here, I've created another board called Prospect Facebook Messages. So I know that I don't actually have most of the numbers, and they came from Facebook. So if I need to go back, I know where I need to go back to get them from, right? So if you look at here, Angie. So I've got the checklist. So call 1, confirmation, call 2, done, right? And that's all I'm up to. But if you go down here, I've got notes. I can put notes here. I've got she's located in Griffith, right? So I can put is the other notes there? Interested in products as VIP, email sent. So these are notes for me. So I've sent her, she wants to register as a VIP, so I've sent her an email template. I'm waiting for her to register. She said that she's going to get registered. So I know where we're up to with that. Let's just say, for argument's sake, Angie, goes through all goes through all that checklist, and then she ends up coming to a boot camp. I can go current boot camp. I've got a board there. I can just do this. This is what I love about this. Drop. She's a current boot camper, right? I can go from people like, I've got this board here, says wellness who cannot make boot camp, right? So it's Rachel. Rachel's coming in tomorrow morning. She's a person that couldn't attend the boot camps because they don't work for a time. So she's coming in tomorrow morning for a wellness, because if they can't, I'm using these leads that are coming in. If they can't come in for the boot camp, well, I'm offering a wellness evaluation. So let's just say she comes in tomorrow for a wellness evaluation. She's going to get onto an ideal breakfast trial. I'm going to put her here. So I know at each stage where everybody's going. It's a very simple process to get started. I haven't mastered it, but this is definitely something that, you can jump on and do. So it's called Trello, and you can do any boards that you currently want. So I've got here, upgrade product, wellness booked in, ideal breakfast trial, current boot camper. I can put people, I can put the, business builders if I wanted. I could do whatever I wanted. I know Craig is also using this. Craig, did you have anything to add as well?
Not really. It's good for recording people's goals too.
Yep.
When you have that first conversation, because if you don't speak to them a couple of days, it sort of doesn't register.
Yeah.
Oh wait, what was their goal? What were they wanting? And it's actually down there. All you have to do before you call them is open the card. Like, this is her goal. This is what she wants. And you initially, and that it builds that relationship with people too. That he actually listens on the phone call. He does remember, and he wants you to help you get to where.
Absolutely. So we've got Janet here. So as Craig was saying, we can record her goals. So if I had her goals, I could say, her goals is to lose 10 kilos, right? And I can go send, and then bang. It's saved down here. As you can see in her card, it's already there. What this enables us to do is build relationships. To understand, if they tell you that they work 3 days a week, when you open up their card, you just have a quick skim. Oh yeah. So how's your cat? How's your cat? Whatever it's called, or how's work going? Last time we spoke, you're working in the mines. How's that going? So you start to build a very, very personalized relationship with people, and people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And as we said earlier, there's pennies in the sand, there's fortune in the follow-up. So that's really. Has anybody got any questions on Trello? Yes.
How hard was it to create the boards and the? So can you do it?
Great question, Mark. So this is how it's easy. So you go here, you go create new board, and then what do you want to call it, Mark? Okay. Team. Sorry. Create new board. Team leaders. And then you can go create, and then you scroll across this way. Oh, yep. Team leaders. But you can change it. You can rename it if you want. You can change it from private. You can also do this as a team, so it's accessible for the whole team. I haven't gone to that much detail, but I was just excited about the fact that the follow-up process of just going from one section to another is just amazing, So if you go, always close board. So the first follow-up, I want to do that. We go back to recent boards. So I want to go back here to the 3-day trial pack. So there's somebody that's in my 3-day trial pack. So see, before all of them were open, now I'm just focused at one thing. Sometimes we think that we need to go slower to go faster, and this is definitely going to feel that way. You're going to have to go slower to go faster. You have to get used to something, but it's a system that everybody can follow. I'm going to honestly tell you, it's going to really help with your follow-up process. There's going to be no leakages. Nothing at all.
As long as you take the time to fill in the card.
Well, just like your 90-day plan, you've got to make time to fill in your spreadsheet. You've got to make time to fill in this.
Yeah.
And the brilliant thing that I didn't mention to everybody is that it syncs from your PC straight onto your mobile phone. There's an app on your phone. So I would definitely write down the name. Don't download it now. Stay focused with what we're talking about right now. And you can download it later when we get off this call. Let me just share back my screen. All right. Stop share. What can you see, Marcelo? Internet. Marcella?
Yeah.
Can you see the screen?
Yes. No.
How about now?
It's loading. Not yet.
Rochelle?
Can you guys see it now?
No, I can't.
Okay. What about now?
It's still loading.
If anyone can see the
I've
screen.
got the screen now.
Yeah.
Yes, I can see the screen.
Yeah, mastering Trello.
Yeah. Not yet. It's still your desktop.
Oh.
What about now?
No.
Nothing?
So anyway, so as Rochelle's doing that,
No.
So as Rochelle's doing that, what I can honestly tell you that in the last couple of days since using it, my headspace has been so much better, because if it's out of your head, you know, and it's down on a piece of paper, then you know that you don't need to think about who you need to call or where you need to go or what you need to do. All you need to simply do is just open up your app on your phone, the Trello app, and you just head on over to the follow-up section, like that board that says follow-up, and it'll be an alarm on there that sets it up, and it says, you know, you need to follow up Mark today because he's on 3-day trial pack and he's up to day number 4.
That better?
Not yet. No, still the desktop.
Yeah, I can do it.
Same thing. I've been trying. Yeah.
Yeah, we did it.
Last time. Share it, now open it.
How about now? No? Marcelo?
No. Oh, now, yes. Yep.
Okay, great. Thanks, Rochelle. No problem. All right. So as I was mentioning before, we went through the live demonstration. I'm just going to mute everybody out again. So we went through the live demonstration and, you know, gave you a snapshot of how it actually works. You're not going to understand it fully over that little call, but it's going to kind of give you an insight of whether you want to use it or not. And it's totally up to you. If you've got a better way to use it, you know, happy to share it with us all. Please, you know, maybe put something up on the one team and let us know, because it's taken me 2.5 years to figure something out and I didn't even figure it out. I've come across a lot of things that people have said they're using, but I can definitely tell you that I think that they've nailed it with this one. This is awesome. So scripts, everything's about scripts. And why? Is because it's a duplication process. It's something simple to follow. It's a step-by-step process. Everything that I do is scripted. If I send a text message, it's scripted. If I send, you know, a Facebook message to respond to the ad, it's scripted. Everything is a script. You know, when I call people up, when they call me, it's a script. Why do I have scripts? Is because when the new person comes on and has got an ambition and wants to start their own business, right, it's very simple for them to duplicate, right? Saving time will save you money, right? So you got to have the script saved in your phone, in your PC, whatever you're using, right? I would definitely save the scripts in your phone. I know a lot of us go, yeah, I'm going to do that. Yeah, I'm going to do that. And you don't do it. And you get caught up sending the same message or delivering the same message with the same outcome in many different ways. Just save them in your phone and just copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. It's so much faster. So this is what I do when I receive these follow-up messages. All right, so sorry, this is how I follow up when I receive these bootcamp messages. So I'll get a message that says bootcamp. I'll reply with good morning or good afternoon. May I please take a name to address you by? I always need to get a name because they've just gone, I get a number and it says bootcamp. They'll reply with their name, and this gives me the chance now to add them into the card on Trello. Immediately, I add them in the card. This is just what I am following. Right? This is just what I need to do because this is what's going to give me the ultimate results. You've got to know what your why is, and hence the reason why you're going to think, well, it's just too difficult to do. Then I go back and I reply with, you know, whatever their name is, good morning or afternoon again, great connecting with you. What are your health goals? Straight away. I'm not talking to them about boot camp. I'm not talking to them about anything. What are your health goals? I want to find out what it is that they want to achieve. What are your health goals? Right? Once again, as Craig mentioned earlier, they come back with this text message telling me what their health goals are. I can just add them in that Trello card and put what their health goals are. And then they're there forever. So you can see here, I've got there at the top left hand of the screen, Bootcamp, the second response, because this is saved in my phone. Right, so generally I've got their goals. If you remember back on that checklist, first message, follow-up message, then the second one, right? So this is after I've got their goals, this is what I send them. You know, the course begins with initial assessment and it goes through step by step. Classes run Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We offer group nutritional workshop, you know, by one-on-one wellness assessment by me, more personal to your goals because I know what they want to achieve. You know, you'll be working for the 4-week transformation, final assessment on the final week, and then the awards night. I go through, as you can see here, step by step. At the end, you can see how I finish this off. Please confirm with me, as the spaces are limited. Induction is on the 5th of February between 9 and 11 a.m. What time would be good for you? I am getting a confirmation. Here's the magic thing about pennies in the sale and fortune in the follow-up. We're already starting to build a conversation here and ready to start to build rapport. I now follow through with within 48 hours, a phone call. It's still 2 weeks away before induction. I'm calling because I want them to walk into this place and then they know me. We have rapport already. You know, we know each other. I know what they want, and they're bringing people with them. And you just want to, you want to be yourself, right? I always say there's something around about this. This is Coach Buddy calling from the 24 Fit Challenge. Hope you're well. I'm excited to see you on Sunday for Sunday's induction. And this is just a courtesy call, just to see if you have any questions. Important there. It's a courtesy call to see if you have any questions. right, in regards to the boot camp or the induction that's coming up. Just have a general conversation. Just get to know them. Then I'll either ask some questions or I say no and thanks, see you later. Then I go back into Trello and tick. You know, pennies in the sale, fortune to follow up. Tick. Yeah, it doesn't take long to make these conversations. You know, to make these phone calls. It doesn't take long. And what I can honestly tell you is that if you give this personalized service, this person that comes, this prospect that comes is not coming by themselves. They're definitely not coming by themselves. And then, of course, as I mentioned, you tick off call 2. And then the Saturday before the induction, you've got to repeat the same process for call 3. You've got to call them back again. You've got to follow up, right? If they book in on the Friday, so just before the boot camp, you still do those 2 calls, right? You got to make them happen, right? What? Sorry? Well, no, like you don't want to, yeah, OTT, yeah, you know. Once they have inducted, move them to the current bootcamp folder. So if that's what you've got, like your current bootcamp, as I showed you, you move them from that prospect bootcamp boost post into the current bootcamp folder, and then just follow the flow. You're going to create your own flow. So why? This is important. This is why. So imagine you begin a bootcamp with only 4 coaches, and each coach booked only 40 clients and had 30 attend. You've started a boot camp with 120 people. 120 people. You think about this for our existing boot camps that are operating. We've got 8 boot camps that are operating currently. Think about how many coaches are working at those boot camps. If every one of your coaches followed this simple step-by-step process and had amazing follow-up with all these scripts, what could happen to their business? How quickly could they achieve their goals? Could there be another Jennifer Michelli sitting there? To go from brand new distributor to global expansion team in the next 12 months. Or to go from world team to millionaire team. Anything is possible. And what you're going to see tomorrow, and I'm not going to go too much into it today, but what you're going to see tomorrow, we're super excited about, because we've got another flow that's going to go straight from this, having people into your fit camp, that's going to flow straight into what we're going to call the ideal breakfast pack. And we're super excited about that. We're converting the 3-day trial pack to a 6-day breakfast pack. So you're getting the person that comes in, 120 people. If everybody gets on a trial pack, 6-day breakfast pack, and we run an ambassador program we're going to talk about tomorrow night, your business is going to explode. And the brand new person that just getting started today can do this. If you've got social media and you've got no friends, we're not even talking about going into your warm market. We're talking about just cold advertising here. People that you don't even know. You've still got warm market people you know, and then you've still got the people that come asking them for referrals and asking them to bring their family and friends, which they're going to ask you anyway, being a free boot camp. But you've got to get this process, and you're probably not going to understand it now. Take some time, get off this call, digest it, listen to this recording again, try to understand it, sleep on it, think about it again. But if you follow this process and you allow your team to follow this process, if they're willing, there's no reason why you can't be at the president's team in 12 months' time with your hard work and commitment and your amazing follow-up. And here's what I'll share with everybody. As soon as this boot camp, the induction happens on Sunday, the 5th of February, I'm rolling in another boost post. I'm going to fill up the boot camp again. I'm going to keep filling up the boot camp. The numbers of the boot camp should go like this. If you start with 120, they shouldn't go 120 and then 80 and then 50 and then 20. It shouldn't go like that. The 120 should be 240 because everybody brings one. Right? They continue, and you continue getting out there inviting. If you're handing out flyers, you continue doing the same thing over and over and over again. So your call to action. I always like to end everything with a call to action. Something that you must take massive action to have massive success. You've got to watch part 1, part 2, and part 3 of the Fit Camp training with Jennifer Michelli. Participate at YNC or your local center. Get involved with the fit camp. Be there, be present. You know, step by step process. Learn how to do the registration. Once you learn how to do the registration, you learn how to empty the bins at the end of the day. Once you learn how to empty the bins, you can learn how to, you know, serve the yellow and the tea. Once you do that, you can learn how to make a shake. Step by step. You know, you can't just come in and go, oh, I'm going to open up a boot camp. And this is what happens. They go, I'm going to open up a boot camp because it's easy. This is very, very simple. And they don't know how to make a shake. They don't understand the flow. And they just want to run a boot camp. It's not about that. You've got to watch part 1, part 2, part 3. There's a lot of hidden messages. And as you can see, I didn't share with you the model. Yeah, there's videos there that can help you and your team if you watch them. And maybe if you've watched them previously, go back and watch them again. You know, I only just recently watched them again, and I'm going to watch them again and again, right? Get around your local center and ask to become a coach there. Ask to do something in the center. Get involved, right? Because if you're not following this model, you're in the boot camp model. Yeah? And if you're running a boot camp, you're not going to get rich. And that's the truth. We're not in the boot camp industry. That's not what we're doing. We're in the industry of making people fitter and healthier through our Herbalife nutrition program. The third thing you want to do is you want to download Trello tonight. Now, I know some of us are on our phones already, downloading Trello. I would download it tonight. If you haven't already, download it tonight. Get it up on your PC, set it up. Just work on it step by step. You don't have to set it all the way up tonight. Start with one board, and then from one board work to another board. And as more people are calling you each and every day, just add the boards as you go. And then you want to save the scripts on your PC, your phone or your PC, and have them ready to go. And really, at the end of the day, you just got to get to work. You've got to start inviting. You've got to start inviting. It's as simple as that. I'm going to be putting up all these scripts that I'm using. I'm happy for you to change whatever you like. This is just what I'm using. There's, you know, I'm sure a lot of other people using different scripts. I'm going to get them up on the Facebook page. Ralph's going to help me do that with the files section. And really, if there's anything else that I can help anybody with, if you can just unmute yourself. I'm not going to unmute everybody, but if you can just unmute yourself. I've got, actually, before we do that, let me just have a look at this. Look at these questions that I've got here. Okay. Can only see desktop. Are we supposed to be seeing? Okay, cool. We have already downloaded it. Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. Screen is okay, perfect. So nobody's it. So if anybody's got any questions, if you just want to unmute yourself. Okay, great. Anybody here got any questions?
You're going to share it on the wanting page?
Yes. All right, guys. Thank you all for attending. I'm sure that was of great value to everybody. Now, no questions is always a good thing. That means that you didn't get it. I'm joking. If you've got any questions, just reach out, guys. Happy to help out.